Welcome back to Tech, Tesla, and Trends. Tonight we're beginning an expansion on the Musk mindset, the 10-dimensional thinking process that I've outlined in a number of videos. And in this case, we're going to start with Module 1 and work our way through, trying to break these into small, bite-sized chunks so that they are easily digestible and we can have individual comments back and forth on each one of these. The first one is our long-time vision, a horizon of a decade or more. In Elon's case, he has 1,000-year plans for the companies he founds. That was mentioned in a Joe Justice interview with Cindy Monroe. What I took from this, it's really important to be very conscious of that long-time vision frame that we construct for our companies. And looking at the first place we check in at, that is, be aware of trends. Now, trends are all over the place. As I've mentioned before, cost curves, exponential growth, solar cycles, how the earth is impacted, freedom quotient of a particular nation where you're potentially going to put your factory, the potential for population growth in that area, and the technological growth curve that exists within a country or within the overall experience of mankind. These things matter as you're looking at what's your long-term vision, when it can be accomplished, the multiple tiers of your vision and items that you want your company to accomplish. This is particularly important if parts of your master vision or plan don't exist right now. Like in Elon's case with SpaceX, his vision is to making life multiplanetary, cost-efficient, or affordable. And with Tesla, it's speeding up the adoption of sustainable energy. And that's through electric vehicles and battery packs, how it scales and integrates. When we're looking at that long-term vision, it matters how we're packaging this. Our individual companies, as we found them, we have to have a very clear vision of what's going to be accomplished. Is your goal something that is truly inspiring, that will change humanity? This does matter. And that can even be with a pair of shoes. If you look at what was done with Zappos. It's not that your vision has to be going to space or changing the world's power consumption habits. What matters is that your vision has to be compelling to your customer in a way that is inspirational, aspirational. Those particular vision points, as you look at where your company's at and where you want it to go, matter. Far too often we see companies that have a vision board or a list of vision statements that, while boilerplate is too generous a word, they fail to inspire their employees. Half the time, the only people that are aware of them are the people that wrote them. And that is not where a vision statement, a vision for your company belongs. The vision has to exist at the bottom level of your production for it to actually make a difference. If your vision fails to integrate with your base production individual, you do not have a vision within your company. It just doesn't happen because it has to become the DNA of your company. It has to exist at that level or it fails. The basic production mentality and the people that are working with your product and creating your product will not necessarily understand that vision, and they may actually do things that are harmful to your product, to your vision, and to your brand long term. This matters. Having that vision be more than just words on paper and having it be something that you can articulate that is actionable for your employees, motivational to or aspirational to your customers or clients, makes that vision more than just words on the paper. And it has to become that for a long time horizon vision to actually create change in your organization, to make it have a life unto itself that will outlast your participation within the company. And as you're founding that, establishing the long-term vision for your company, profit is important. But without a vision and a clear reason why you are doing what you are doing, why you are making the widgets you are making, why you are selling the services you're selling. If you don't have that compelling vision that the people you serve are essentially family members to you and treated that way with a great level of respect and dignity, then your service may not succeed as well. It's very much like I'll take an example from my life. As this winter's gone by, we've had a snow removal contract company for our subdivision's road service area. That particular vendor is well known, and not in a good way. They do not have a clear vision beyond we are the lowest bidder on all contracts. And their name has become synonymous with with a screw you, only more colorfully and forcefully expressed. This is important because as you look at it, if you don't have that vision that we are going to treat each road that we plow and maintain as the road that we live on, it becomes something of a burden to your employees. They're just looking at the number of miles they plow, and they don't really care, and they offend the people that they are supposedly serving. And in this case, that has occurred multiple times within the various weather events that have occurred and over the summers as they've attempted to maintain the roads. This particular lack of vision, where it attends to the overall operation of your company, is a direct failure on the part of that particular company owner, because profit is the only margin that he's paying attention to. Now, for Elon, on the other hand, when he founds a company, as mentioned in that interview, he has a 1,000-year plan. But that's broken down into goals and things that are more achievable initially. Like with Tesla, the Roadster was the first product that was at volume and delivered value at a cost to the consumer, with a value to the consumer that was sufficient to enable the development and research that was necessary to build the Model S. And the Model S was then leveraged in the same manner to get to the Model 3. And the Model 3 had some challenges getting into production, but the Model 3 paved the way for the Model Y to be ushered into production in a speedy fashion, faster than anybody anticipated. And now the Model Y is the best-selling and largest profit center for Tesla. This is one of those things that is important. If your vision lays out the steps of how your company is going to grow, not necessarily the specifics of we're going to get this supplier or that supplier, or we're going to do it this way or that way. What it's laying out as your vision is the broad stepping stones that you're going to use to progress from point A to point B, off in the distance. Process of moving from your onshore to that first stepping stone, that requires clear planning and execution. And that's part of the awareness of trends and other things. It really does come down to, how do we remain aware of our long-term vision? Is it something that really inspires our employees and activates our customers in a way that they are more than just customers? They become fans and loyal customers that are willing to not only purchase your product, but advocate for your product and talk about it, as has been demonstrated by the millions of people who love Tesla and who will discuss it, and the community that speaks about Tesla online, such as this channel and many, many others that are out there. As I close this particular portion of Module 1 out, it's reminding us that, with Elon at the helm, there are very clear long-term plans that are set as goals, and it then becomes the responsibility of the employees that are on hand at the time that plan or that stepping stone becomes available to execute upon that plan. That gives credence to the need to train your people and to make them part of your team, so that they not only are producing your product, but they're actually part of the family and seeking to make your overall product and relationship with your customers excellent. That excellence and that pursuit of excellence becomes an innate part of your DNA as a company. And that is what makes your company hum and sing in the marketplace. So that's where Tesla excels at what it does. And if you look at where SpaceX is at, they're doing the exact same thing. And contrary to what many might think, even at Twitter, you're seeing some of that occurring. There's a lot of upheaval and change that's occurring, but what's occurring right now is a change in culture, helping those employees that stay or that are brought on understand the vision for the future. And it goes much deeper than just one day at a time in the operating costs. This vision really does matter, and we'll talk to you in the comments below, and I want to hear what you think. Have a good night.